I was listening to the story about, it was a story of a family in Washington, and the little boy called the Bigfoot the cowboy man. And he had, apparently it had made an effort to steal this kid. And it hit me. My children were in that playpen behind me with nothing but a mosquito net over them. It could have crept up behind me and taken both of my children, and I wouldn't have known.
Father just got like a Mustang or something from Wyoming, okay? He had it out in the corral because he couldn't put it in the barn in the stalls with the other horses. It would kick and made all the other horses nervous. Had a Seminole Indian working the horse trying to break it every day. They had it out in the corral. This skunk ape snuck up behind this horse and grabbed it on its hindquarters. This particular horse kicks out, jumps over the corral, runs into the pasture, to get away. At this point, the rancher's out there just blasted away with the 30-30. The skunk ape runs into the swamp.
I went up there one day after that, or 2 days after that. I went up there and sat in the silence up there, and I'm telling you, man, it was free. It was crazy. There was a crazy vibe up there still. I did what I could to kind of get things under control, but I told her, I said, you need to get off this property. I feel like no matter how strong you are, it's almost like standing in the ocean. You can't stand still without moving your feet. You're going to get knocked over eventually, no matter how strong, whatever. You can't withstand a barrage of weird spiritual energy.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Paranormal Odyssey Live. I am your host, Wayne, joined as always by my good friend, partner in crime, producer extraordinaire, mother, grandmother, wife, author, all that amazing stuff. Miss Tiffany, how you doing, ma'am?
I'm good. See, we need to expand the line there under my name to add all of that.
Yeah, there's not enough room.
There's not. So I narrowed it down to the two most, that would be relevant for what we do. So
yeah, well, I appreciate that. How are you doing tonight, ma'am? I know you're excited about this show. You found these guys and have been talking to them and researching and delving into their stuff, and you have been excited about this episode.
Yes. So if you guys remember, we had Jill Shelley on 2 months ago, and she is the owner of the Boyd House in Minnesota. We had her on Tuesday. That following Thursday of the same week. Now, and I don't think it's a coincidence, okay? Because how many people are on TikTok? Like the whole world, okay? So after we had Jill Shelley on that Thursday, I was doom scrolling. Okay, I'll admit it. I'm pathetic. And I ran across their video of when they were doing the investigation at the Boyd House. So then I went from their TikTok to their YouTube, and I was like, I've got to see this. And so the video that I saw on TikTok, they're in the kitchen, and there is a cat that meows. And there is no cat at that house. So it really intrigued me. Yeah. And then it was just like,
So they got a ghost cat.
It's a ghost cat. Yeah. It's a ghost cat. Yeah. They've been to, the Boyd House, Edinburgh Manor. The most recent is the Farrar Elementary School, and then the Villisca Axe Murder House.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a whole bunch of no thank you for me. But this is why we bring people on who are not afraid to do that.
Yeah, we're just a couple of chickens that like to hear about it. We don't want to do it. Was that a chicken? What the hell was that?
I don't know. I think it was a dying chicken, but it was my best.
Chicken?
It was my best attempt. But yeah, they're really cool, and they're really good at what they do. And so I saw that video of them at the Boyd House, and I sent Randy an email, and I'm like, hey, I would love I'm paraphrasing because this was months ago. I would love to have you on our show. Because we did just have Jill Shelley on, and I thought it was just really cool how I ran across their stuff right after we had her on.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad everything worked out. We had a chance to talk to him for a few minutes before we went live tonight, as we do with all of our guests, and it seemed like a few really cool guys. Got 3 of them back there. So we will get to them in just a second. Before we do, y'all know the spiel. We got to pay some bills real quick. So if y'all are new to the channel, we hope you like what you see and hit that subscribe button. Please help Tiffany and I continue to grow the show, keep heading in the right direction.
And if you would like to be on with Wayne and myself, you can reach out to both of us, Wayne at paranormalworldproductions.com, or me, Tiffany at paranormalworldproductions.com. And I am going to tell you, and Wayne, I just sent you another thing from our show schedule. We have booked up every Saturday in July that we can because we have the con. Every Saturday is gone. And we only have 3 Tuesdays left. So now is the time to get in if you're going to get in, because now we're going to have to start working into August. So do reach out to us, though. Don't hesitate. We will absolutely get you on the show.
Yes, ma'am. I want to ask everybody, head over to paranormalworldproductions.com. That is our website. You can check out all the other shows under the studio's umbrella. This one, Sasquatch Odyssey, that Bigfoot podcast, which I'm actually very fond of because I co-host it. But True Crime Odyssey, Basement Hangout, Kentucky X-Files, all kinds of good stuff over there. Pick you up some merch. I didn't upload the picture of Mike in his new Paranormal Odyssey shirt, but I will get it up. Might get it up sometime tonight. We'll get it up and show everybody. So yeah, we need to see some more pictures of everybody in Paranormal Odyssey t-shirts. And y'all can do that by heading over to the website, paranormalworldproductions.com.
And I promise I will not let this slacker slack, and I will tell him, put up the damn picture, because you ride their ass all the time. But until then, if you have questions for our guest tonight, please put them in all capital letters, just like you see on the screen, and we will snatch them up and save them for the end of the show. You know you'd miss me if I were gone.
Well, I mean, I'm just gonna take my medicine because I'm about to get fussed at a little bit more. Because I'm gonna ask everybody to sign up for our memberships. If you notice something might be missing from that picture. Anyway,
moving on.
We are doing a giveaway for the first 50 people that sign up to become a member of the Paranormal Odyssey channel. We've only got a few spots left. I think it's 3 or 4 spots left. Actually added one this week. So that was cool. But yeah, once we hit 50, we will draw a name from that list, and that person will win a Yeti lunchbox, an autographed copy of The Unfamiliars written by my co-host, Miss Tiffany, an autographed copy of one of Naomi Finn's books, and it's not up here on the picture because I haven't updated it, an autographed copy of Brian King Sharp, the host of Sasquatch Odyssey, his brand new book.
Yep. And it will be amazing. And I promise he'll get it up there for next time.
Yes. Sorry about that. I got choked a little bit. But yeah, Brian decided to add his book and also the Paranormal World or the Paranormal Odyssey t-shirt. You will get to choose a size and a color, and we'll send that to you. So again, guys, it's $1.99 a month. That's nothing. We can all do that. First 50 people that sign up, again, there's like 46 of y'all, I think, so far. So we're almost to the point where we're ready to do the giveaway, but we need a few more people to sign up. So please, if you can, help us out there. And another real quick before we get to them. Again, guys, the super stickers are active again tonight. As y'all have heard us say, the last 3 months, Tiffany and I have been able to collect a check from YouTube. Y'all know how YouTube works. You don't get paid until you hit $100, and then it's only once a month. So if it takes you 4 months to get to that $100 mark, you get it once a month. But y'all have helped us hit that mark 3 straight months, and we are so close to doing it for the 4th. So if you guys want to help us to get there tonight, please keep in mind those super stickers are open and available. We would greatly appreciate it.
Look at what Naomi said real quick. For $1.99 a month, you get a membership, or you can get a Lent truffle. The membership is more fun and won't make you fat.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All right. Tiffany, real quick, tell us about these guys. I know you've already talked about them a little bit, but do a quick introduction and we'll get them out.
I know, like I prepped that whole intro, and I can say it twice. No, I'm just kidding. No, they're really good guys. I'm really curious, and we're gonna find out at the beginning, like we usually do. Chip is on, and he is Randy's dad. So my question is, how in the hell did he convince him to go into a haunted house? Because my answer would have been, no, thank you. Take pictures, send a postcard. I'm gonna stay at home.
Well, yeah, I want to find out whose idea it was. Was it dad's or son's? I guess we'll find that out here in just a second. And
we'll
also tell us about Nick.
Nick is a sergeant. As you all know, we have many police officers that are in our chat that are members to our membership. And I swear we don't hunt you guys down. I think we're just a magnet. So, yeah.
We got a lot of respect for the boys in blue. We certainly respect everything that they do, all of you. All right, that said, let's bring them out.
Absolutely.
All right, we got Randy and Chip and Nicholas. What's up, fellas?
Oh, hey. What's going on, guys? Awesome intro. Way awesome. We deserve.
We try. Thank you guys so very much for taking the time to come and hang out with us tonight. We went a little bit longer than we normally do, but I don't have my daughter tonight, so we can go a little bit over if you guys are available. So yeah, we can
Absolutely.
do that. But again, guys, thank you so very much for taking the time to come and hang out. We appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So fun.
Thank you guys for moving too. I know Saturday is the big day. But yeah, I just want to say thank you again for moving to Friday, making it work for us. We just wanted to get on here like as soon as possible, not wait for June. We were kind of all pumped for this, like ever since we were talking about it. So thank you guys again.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been binge watching the videos and then the shorts and then rewatching them. And then before we came on, because I wanted to because it hadn't been too long since I watched the last one that you posted from the Farrar Elementary School, because I'm going to tell you, and I'm not going to tell your story because you can tell your story, but the Estes method in the gymnasium with Cody was off the freaking charts.
Oh yeah, he's really good at that. He's really tuned in.
I love the Estes method, man. I've never done it, obviously, because I've never done what you guys do. But every paranormal investigator that we bring on, I get them to talk about that method because all you guys use it, and it's just cool as hell, in my opinion.
I think the library one too was awesome. I mean, both of them. Anytime Cody's in it, it was great.
Right, and Cody wanted to get in there because he's the biggest chicken. He was definitely the hardest to get out there. That's why you don't see him in a lot of other videos, right? And just to be like, he doesn't even know what it was. We're like, put these headphones on and just say what you hear, right? And he's in like his work gear and his steel toe boots on. You just putting him in there and he just starts going off. So yeah, Estes message is really cool. We saw it online and we were like, we got to add this, to what we do because it's really hard sometimes to hear like through like the box itself what it's saying. So if it's just one person listening, it makes it a little bit interesting too because they can't hear what we're asking on the outside too. So.
Right. And it adds that validity to it.
Absolutely. Right.
It's hard to fake, I mean, if you do it right, if you are, you know, if you're a legitimate group, which you guys are, you do it right, and you're trustworthy. So I believe that would be the only thing that would prevent this from actually working is if someone was like fibbing a little bit, right?
Oh yeah. And especially with Cody, I mean, he was kind of a skeptic at first, and he's super scared anyways. So there's no way that he would try to play into that.
Yeah, the ladder of scaredness starts with Cody, and then it would probably be me. And if you notice, that's why I sat next to Cody. I had to have my knee touching his knee. Nobody was just going to get up and leave him in there in the dark by himself.
Okay, so I take it, Randy, it was your idea and you brought Dad along, or was it the other way around?
Well, for the Boyd house, the first time we went, me and Nick went, but he was hunting. And if you know him, you can't peel him out of a tree stand for 3 weeks in November, because up in Minnesota, you only get 3 weeks to hunt deer. So that's where he is. So he wasn't going to leave. So it was just going to be us two. And then the second time he saw the first video, and he's like, he was pumped to go. He was obviously scared, but didn't really have to do much convincing to get him there.
Oh, very cool.
No, because I've grown up in haunted houses my whole life, so I've just become accustomed to dealing with them, not really hunting them down. So it's as far as Randy and Nick, it's these two. I just got it's just the hangout time too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna ask each of you to tell us what got you interested. Chip, you kind of just answered it to us. You've lived in several haunted houses, but we'll get you to elaborate on that. But for each and every one of you, I would like for you to tell us how you got your start, like what happened that made you interested in that topic. And we'll start with Nick and work our way, to the right, if you don't mind, Nick.
Yeah, that works. Honestly, like the first start that I ever got was having an experience at Chip's house, and I was actually babysitting Randy long time ago. And so we're all family members, just FYI. I'm the cousin to those two. And I was actually at Chip's house, and I was sitting upstairs and babysitting Randy. Chip's house was known to be haunted. I only had like very select experiences at that time, so nothing that was so prominent until that night. And actually, I was actually terrified of having any kind of ghost experience. I didn't like those things. I was kind of like the Cody of that era. And
well, you were like 14, right?
Yeah, I was like, I can't remember exact age, but yes, a teenager. And when I was upstairs and I was listening, or I was just sitting there and I was watching cartoons, and I was turning up the volume because I could hear something scrambling downstairs in the basement. And the dog, he had a big German Shepherd that sat there and protected the whole family. And it was watching something in the basement and ended up darting downstairs after whatever it saw. And I was sitting on the couch like shaking because I'm like, shit, somebody's in the house. And I could hear it downstairs. And when I heard it squeal, it would, the arr, arr, arr. And then I heard this big boom, like a door just freaking slammed against the wall. And I was like, holy cow. So now I'm like taking Randy and I'm putting him in front of me, so that way I don't see whatever's going to come up those stairs, because I don't want to.
Randy is a human shield.
I was using him as bait.
The future cop.
that inner law enforcement kicking in. Just kidding. But yeah, so then ever since then, I was kind of scared, and whenever I would reminiscence in that moment, like we would get together as a family and we would tell these ghost stories, and I remember how interesting those things were, to hear other people's perspective and all that. So I got super curious of trying to like go and hunt them down myself and try to face my fears, to be honest with you. So that was my start.
Awesome. Randy, what about you, buddy?
Yeah, so I don't remember any of that. I was probably like 3 or 4 years old. So I always grew up hearing these stories from him, because he's got a lot, and his side of the family really has like a lot of weird, unexplained things, right? So it was here growing up hearing that. I was about 7 years old. Of course, it's gonna be a story, right? So I was hearing all these stories, and I would just beg, and I was like, I want to see something. I need something to happen because I want to like have like a story to tell, like, you know. So it happened finally one day. I was 7 years old. It was Saturday, bright early morning in the summer. My alarm clock went off, and it was on the other side of the room because when I would wake up for school, if I had to like get up and go shut it off, I wouldn't get up. So I put it on the side of the room, whatever, it goes off. So I run over there, I slam it. It was 7 a.m. As soon as I shut the alarm clock off and like ran across my room and like dove back into bed and like rolled over, I could see like my like door right to the hallway. And as soon as I like rolled over, like this like huge like white yellowish figure like ran out of their room, which was like right across the hallway. Ran out of that room, and I just remember like seeing like the hand when it turned like this. I could see like the points of the hand. I could see like the outline of the face. And it kind of run down the hall. And it ran down the hall. We have like, it was old wood floors. So I heard every single step, run down the hall, turn the corner, and then run down the stairs, like down the stairs. And the same stairs that he, you know, the dog went taking off down. It was the same house. So I didn't think anything of it. I thought it was him, to be honest. I was like, oh, we're playing, right? We're going to like play something, right? So I like grabbed my Nerf gun, and I'm looking around the whole house. Like I'm thinking he's hiding. I didn't think to look in his room. I'm just because I thought he was downstairs. So I'm like going through the house, whatever, clearing it out with my stupid Nerf gun. I go downstairs. I'm looking around, and I'm getting to like, it was all unfinished down there. It's all concrete. And I'm getting to like the last room down there, which is, it's under the stairs. It had the boiler was in there or whatever. It was just a scare room, dark, no windows. So I'm like down there with my gun. I'm like kind of creeping in there, and I'm like, just got really uneasy, right? I got goosebumps. I like got scared, and I ran upstairs. So I ran upstairs, and I ran to like their room to like see where, like, what the heck, because I thought my mom was in there. So I go in there, and they're both in there sleeping. And I'm like, who was that running down the stairs? So, you know, immediately as soon as they woke up, I told them. They were like, oh, sweet. Like, right. Like they were like, finally saw something. Right. And then my grandparents lived a mile down the road. So we went down there to go tell them. And then my mom was getting ready for work while we left. Right. While she was getting ready for work, and she called us, and she's like, hey, there's like 3 scratches like on the back of my neck, and I don't know where that came from. So that was just weird. But that was like the first story that ever since then, you know, I've been, you know, I don't want to see anything else. But yeah, that was like my first story. Kind of got me like, oh, like there's something really to these stories. Like people are seeing things, or people are hearing noises. I don't know. But that was definitely my first like intro into like the ghosts for sure myself.
And aren't you glad you didn't run into it with just a Nerf gun?
Yeah. Yeah, I was. Even telling that story just freaks me out because I can just picture like being in the basement. You know, it was only one beam of light like coming from like the sun. It was early Saturday, and just like being scared. So yeah, freaky.
Well, what I took away from that story is how cool of a relationship you and your dad must have had, where you thought your dad was messing with you, and you're gonna grab the Nerf gun and game on at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, we did that quite often.
Yeah, Nerf wars. We were playing Halo, you know, gaming. So yeah, I thought it was like routine. Here we go. It's time to, you know, play something, right? So.
And he told me that story like right away, and I'm like, no way. And I believe it because I know the house. I mean, I'm not a skeptic. I mean, I've seen enough stuff to know that it is what it is. Believe it or not.
Well, good dads are awesome. I was blessed with one myself, so I'm glad you were too, Randy. And Chip, you were that dad. You already talked about growing up in some haunted houses, so I'd like to hear what piqued your interest.
Oh man. Oh, started young age. I mean, Mom was say 15 when I really started noticing it. Any other thing before that was kind of like just shadows here, stuff moving, disappeared, come back. One of my most vivid ones. I mean, it never really got me into wanting to chase these things down. These two did all that. It just Mom and Dad's house. I was probably 15, 16 at the time. Everybody's upstairs going to watch movies. I go downstairs to get my sleeping bag because I'm just going to camp out in front of the TV. And go down there to get my sleeping bag, and there it was, standing at the end of the basement. It was just a long basement. Nothing was finished. So it was just a big green orb. Kind of light green on the outside, dark in the middle, and
like big.
Yeah,
it was pretty big.
It was big around. And then I knew something was staring at me. I turned around, and that's when I saw it, and I stared at it for a second or two, and it just shot through the wall. And then upstairs I went and started watching TV.
Didn't tell anybody.
I didn't tell anybody.
He's like, I'm not going to tell anybody about that.
No.
For a while.
That one was it just.
Now
that was your first story, though. Your first thing you saw.
Yeah, the one I can really remember.
Now what was the reason you didn't tell anyone? Was just fear of ridicule, or you just wanted to put it behind you?
No, they weren't like that. They were nothing like that at all. It was just it was movie time, and I wasn't really worried about it.
You're like, look, I got shit to do. Okay, I ain't got time for that. I got a movie.
Nothing's changed.
All right. Well, guys, any one of you can jump in. I just want you to tell us a little bit about Paranormal Pursuit, how it got its start. Obviously, that's the name of your YouTube channel. Is that the name of your, I guess this is the name of your organization, your group? How did that come about? Whose idea was it? And how did y'all launch it?
Yeah, so I'll jump in. So we started, like COVID happened, right? Bored. We grew up fishing. He lives on the lake. You know, it's hard to peel him off. It's like a thunderstorm in here. So he'd probably be fishing if we weren't doing this. So anyways, we were like, we need to film fishing, cause it just show it to the family, right? Make family videos, people our family like watching us interact. We just have a weird dynamic. So anyways, I bought a GoPro. My first camera is actually right here. So I bought that, mounted on the boat, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go home, put some cool music, put some AC/DC on there, and cool big fish, right? Anyways, we were a year into doing that. Nick, for a birthday gift, actually got an overnight stay at Edinburgh Manor. That's the first place we stayed, right? So we weren't worried about going and filming anything. We were like, oh, we're gonna go stay the night at Edinburgh Manor, right? So we were watching all the Ghost Adventures episode, the Destination Fear episode, and I was like, wait, I have a camera. I'm gonna go film while we're out there. So yeah, that's what we did. And then since then, we just kind of pivoted, and we're like, well, let's go keep looking for places to go, find. And then that's kind of what we do now. Just kind of find a place that's in drivable range and film, right? And then Nick, you take over. You bought some equipment after that hunt, pretty much.
Yeah. So for me, it was finding some stuff that they actually use on the TV shows and seeing if it actually works. So I went and started hunting down stuff for whatever I could use. And then once we got that and we got into Edinburgh and we started having things answer when we wanted it to, that was kind of a real, kind of a surreal experience, right? After you have that happen, you kind of want to just keep going. It almost gets addicting. It's like you're doing investigative work for the dead. And when you do law enforcement, that's kind of like what you're doing for human beings, right? So doing it for the opposite of that, where they're not living anymore and you're getting responses for what you're trying to figure out, is crazy. So our name, the Paranormal Pursuit, kind of was a play on words of hunting them down, and plus working in law enforcement. And, we were just trying to find something that was kind of catchy and flew off the tongue. So it actually took us a while. We were just messing around and spitballing ideas off each other. And one of them just stuck. So, yeah.
That's how it usually goes.
Yep.
And since we're talking about Edinburgh Manor, I'm going to show you guys something.
She's been so excited about this, guys.
Yeah, you're gonna die.
Let's see it. I'm pumped.
All right. After I show you, you got to tell the story, okay?
For sure. Oh no!
Dog.
Oh no!
I love it.
I hate that thing.
Okay, first tell us what it is, because I upload this to podcast and they aren't going to be able to see it. So tell us what it is,
Okay.
And then go into the story. Whoever wants to jump in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a little dog, and it has obviously all the buttons that kind of relay certain things that it does, whether it's playing a song, whether it's saying like what it is, whether it's a paw, foot.
A little stuffed animal
Yes,
dog.
stuffed animal dog, a toy for toddlers more than likely, and does like little nursery rhymes, I guess. This thing is at every haunted location that we freaking go to, first of all. And then this thing was inside so we knew that there was this little girl that used to reside there at this Edinburgh Manor. And we had all these stupid stuffed animals that were kind of like laying all over the place. But that dog was talking.
It's a whole like the kids' room, and when it was back in like a hospital.
Yes. So when we were just sitting there and we're asking questions, and we're just kind of like going around the room, seeing what we could ask, that dog that we're talking about started making noises without anybody touching it. And so I let it do its thing and whatever, and it sat there, and it freaked us all out at first. So once we got done with that stupid thing and we set it over on the side, later on that night, we knew that we were going to go and mess with, there's this entity at Edinburgh Manor called the Joker. And it has this creepy laugh, and if you ever catch it, you'll never forget it. We've caught it every time that we went there so far.
Yeah.
And yeah, so then we're sitting there and we're getting all pumped up, like we're going to go down and we're going to go tackle some demons. And we set that stupid dog on this dresser, and I have a REM pod that's sitting in the hallway, and I heard that thing buzzing, and I was like, that's the buzzer. And I didn't name it, but like at that, you got to remember, this is early on, so I didn't know proper names for equipment and all that stuff. So we go walking out into the hallway, and that stupid dog says, I see you. And I never felt so scared in my life that something was there and behind me and chasing me down that I didn't want to do anything anymore.
Well, what's weird is that thing, you can go watch the video, like Nick picks it up and he's like pressing all the buttons on it, right? So it never says I see you. It never says anything like that. Like it says like foot, or, like just starts singing random songs. We never got it to say like I see you. And we were messing that thing. We were probably in that room for like 20 minutes. And then, that's when we set it down and, walk out, and then it's just in there by itself. We're halfway down the other side of the manor, and it just starts talking. So, we hate those.
Yeah, if you end up watching our other videos and we go to Boyd House and that stupid ass doll is sitting in the blue room where the goddamn haunted picture is, where I read the cursed photo, I'm like, yup, that's why that thing's there, because I cursed myself. So it makes total sense.
I didn't mean for him to read it, because like underneath that photo is like the curse, right? I didn't realize it was written along the whole like edges. I was like, there's no way that whole paragraph fits, but it was. But yeah, we don't like that dog toy. That thing sucks.
I know. I was watching that video again, and so like I just fixed dinner tonight, and I Googled it, and I couldn't think of the name either, and I was like, learning dog, and that's what came up, and I sent it to Wayne. I was like, do me a favor, please put this on there, because I want to show them this dog.
Man, I should have showed you. As soon as you showed that picture, I was getting all goosed up.
Yeah, our history, man. That was our first hunt. So that, like Nick says, like we don't know the name of that little buzzer, right? It's like it's not really a REM pod. I think it's the Mel meter. Yeah, is what that was actually called. We didn't have a REM pod. We finally got one. But those things are expensive. So, but yeah,
it's really cool, really impressive that every one of you reacted the second I put that picture up. Y'all all knew what it was.
Yeah, that's called PTSD.
It's funny, at that point of night it was like 2:40 a.m. So he was long sleep. So it was just me, Nick, and our other cousin David. He was there too. We had like 6 of us there that first time. But yeah, even he knows like how crazy that was, because just seeing that dang video.
Just watching the videos was good.
And he knows like how we react, and seeing Nick react, like it's like Nick doesn't look like that a lot.
Right.
So, in tears.
We hear a lot about supposed haunted dolls. You hear about, they made a whole ass movie about Annabelle, and then what's the creepy ass doll down in South Florida? Robert the doll.
Robert the doll, yeah.
Robert, yeah.
Yeah. What is it? Do y'all have any opinions, or can
So
y'all speak to any more like haunted toys or
yeah,
dolls? What is
I
up with
100% know that those things. Okay, so my opinion is that these things carry on to the afterlife, whether they're demonic or if they're whatever. And I think the doll is the closest thing that resembles a human. So it tries to take the shape of that again because it doesn't want to be an energy anymore. You know what I mean? So I really think that it tries to possess the doll in order to take that shape again, and then you can trust it because it's like a kid's plaything. So I don't know what it is, but every time that we go to these places, there's the creepiest dolls in these places, and I know that's like it almost feels staged sometimes, but then I also know that other guests leave shit behind too.
Well, but that doll looks, or that dog toy looks.
Yeah, it's friendly. That one's friendly.
There's some creepy looking dolls that are all weird looking.
Yeah.
Like Annabelle.
That one was just that one was dang near under the bed. I think if you watch the video, it's kind of like laying next to the bed. Like and that wasn't even set up like right. It was just kind of laying in there. But I would say, similar to that, but it has like electronics in there, right? And it's, it's speculated, can the paranormal, entities, can spirits use like electricity, electronics to like fuel or use it in some way. So that thing having like some sort of like battery powered, some sort of electronic, like it's able to use that, right? So almost like it used that to say that to kind of get our attention, if that makes sense. So pretty much exactly what the heck Nick said, but just having like that little piece in there affecting it. I don't know about like dolls that don't have that, like there was one creepy one at Velisca that was up there that people were like writing notes for, and like there was like hundreds of like apology letters and stuff like that, but that didn't have any electronics. This is an old looking doll. You weren't supposed to film it. I accidentally filmed it. I didn't really have anything too weird happen afterwards that I can remember off the top of my head. That was like, ooh, that was because filming that thing. But I definitely believe there's definitely some validity to having some like haunted objects.
Did we even open that to see if there's any batteries in it?
No, I didn't think.
Yeah, one even leapt at Randy. It jumped off a chair at him.
Oh yeah, the Boyd House one. Yeah, I mean, did it not?
It would have been really interesting, Chip, if you guys would have thought to open it up to see if there were any batteries in it. I'd be interested to know that.
We'll hit her hard next time.
We did in the Boyd House didn't have any batteries in it because we touched it and didn't make any noise, and we opened it because Nick was like, we gotta look, like make sure this thing doesn't have any batteries. So the Boyd House dog does not have any batteries as of when we
Okay. Now, you guys just mentioned the Valencia X murder house.
Mm-hmm.
How did that investigation go? Because I've always found that place really creepy and interesting. Did you guys experience anything there, and just how'd it go?
Yeah, that one was super creepy, and we experienced quite a lot. I mean, we had the children interacting with us quite a bit and saying their names and telling us certain things or messages that we were looking for. And sometimes when we didn't even have the camera rolling, that's when we heard the most stuff. It's almost like they know when you're filming and when you're not.
I agree.
And we had the rotten meat smell that those two picked up on. And then when we found, like, we don't do a whole lot of research when we go to these places either until we go through it afterwards or right there on the spot. So sometimes we forget about things. But after we found out, like, they had that rotten meat smell, we found out that this guy actually dragged the bodies into the kitchen area and then cooked up bacon while the bodies were sitting there rotting away.
No, there was no bodies weren't moving. There was just bacon. There was like a slab of bacon he used for gross stuff. I don't really want to say it on here, but yeah, apparently he used bacon. But yeah, that was just weird because he walked in. It was like random point at the night, and we were just out in the break room, like just kind of chilling out. Then we walked in there. I just had the camera on. I wasn't ready to shoot. I just turned it on, and then we walked in there, and he's like, "You like smell like that rotten? It's like a rotten meat." And we know like dead mouse. You smell like a dead mouse. You know what a dead mouse smells like? It wasn't that. It was worse. It was just rancid, and it was like gone. It was there for like 30 seconds to a minute, and then it was like instantly. Ever since like that happened at that point, like it kind of ramped up from there. And yeah, we got the name of a kid, Ina. We didn't even know that was a kid that lived in there until like we were walking through it. It came through the spirit box, and then we were in the room, and I looked over to my right, and there was like the picture of like the kids that were in that room, and one of them was Ina. And I was like, oh, we were like, holy smokes, that's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, and definitely when you hear things in real time. So like when you go back and you listen to the recording, obviously you can have multiple times of being able to listen to what you hear. But in real time, it's really hard to tell sometimes what they say. So we get it wrong. Sometimes we do. And then the attic had a lot, like we were questioning what would happen because there's money at all these locations too. And they're all like in weird locations in the jam cracks of like the doorways. They're on top of like the dolls. They're on the dollhouse at the Boyd house. And I actually asked the spirit at Belisca if I took that money out of there, what would happen? And it said that it would follow me home.
Instantly, it's like, what if I take this money out and it's like follow you home? And I was like, oh my, all right, I gotta get out of here.
I'm gonna come get it. A return on my investment. No. Thank you.
I will say the weirdest thing though happened, of course, at night, right? So when we shut the cameras off, it was like 3 o'clock, 3:30. Cameras were off, which I'm never doing again. We leave one when we sleep on like almost every night now. But we woke up middle of the night. I don't think he heard it. Me and Nick woke up to upstairs. It was like upstairs running up and down the stairs, like kids plain as day, laughing, giggling, running up and down, and you can hear everything in the house. It's so old. Anything moves anywhere in the house.
Not that big either.
It is tiny, yeah. So anything moves, you know where something moves. You can't like be in there without knowing. And that was probably the creepiest thing that happened. I wish I had my dang camera on, but didn't.
What's that machine you got, Nick, that picks up the stick figures?
Oh, the SLS?
Yeah, that really had a lot of figures in that house.
Yep. That's another thing that we caught a lot of. And actually, Randy had a gut feeling, and he's like, hey, you need to put that thing up in the stairwell right now. And I did, and it figured it up. Like, I mean, it drew out, or it had the figures standing at the top of the stairs, and it looked like it almost like climbed up over the railing.
Yeah.
And it was just weird because of the gut feeling that he had, and then in real time, capturing that was kind of one of our cool moments because like that was our first time using that dang thing.
Now, what's that called, Nick?
It's called a SLS camera. So what it does is it's actually an Xbox 360 camera that's on it, and it has like a laser grid that shoots out, and then it draws in any figure that kind of penetrates through those that laser grid. So usually if it's a moving figure, it can't be something that's like stand still or anything like that. Sometimes it does, but we'll kind of like, that's why when you see us like move that deal and then remap it in to see if it captured something that's not even there, or if it's actually like the chair outline or something like that, because we don't want people to think that we're just...
We've debunked a few of them.
Yeah, a lot of them. Like I'll say one more thing about SLS. In Boyd House, we were looking in Minnie's room, which is upstairs, and he mapped on the ceiling, and he's like, oh, it's probably just the ceiling fan. And he like looks away and then puts it back in the ceiling, and then whatever was on the ceiling like disappeared. Like it didn't map anything. And that was really creepy, I think.
It had the cat. You guys heard the cat in the Boyd House.
Yeah, that too.
The cat was on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, we had oh yeah, that's a big one too, is the SLS. So when we were in real time at the Boyd House and that thing picked up on the couch, the animal on the couch, the cat, we actually thought it was just a person lounging and had their feet kicked up. We didn't realize what we caught until we had one of the people comment on our page to say like, it's the cat.
On TikTok.
When we watched it, I was like, holy shit, it is a freaking cat. And then we were super excited because we caught the dang meow, and then we caught that dang thing on camera. I'm like, dang, it kind of validates everything that we were going through.
So do y'all think that was the cat that was in the picture that's upstairs? No.
You know, I thought it was.
I don't think so. I think that's just a coincidence.
Yeah, but I think I honestly think that's where the cat box must have been, because like when Randy and I stayed there by ourselves, and you know how a cat goes into a litter box and digs through it when it's burying its shit or piss? Well, that's what we heard. That's what we heard up in that dang room. It was like, and that's when I kind of like put all that stuff together when we were watching it back and freaking out on our own. And that's what we want to do is like, I don't know, we probably should like have reaction videos so that way our viewers or whoever can understand like what we're going through at those moments. But
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
yeah.
I wanted to ask you a question, and then we can go back to the Boyd House. When we were talking about Edinburgh Manor, and Chip, you can even chime in here because when all of you guys were downstairs and y'all had the spirit box going, and it said David, and David freaked out. But then he was like acting funny. Like, did he ever recoup? What do y'all think happened there?
He definitely came back.
I don't know.
Something seemed. I think it seemed like it was targeting David, and of that group, we had David is definitely the number one chicken. Everybody knows David is a chicken, right? So we having him in there and like having his voice come through, you could just see like the fear, right? So him like opening up, like that's another thing too. Like if you open up to it, you're more vulnerable, right? So that's what we kind of think kind of happened, right? So he was opened up, he was vulnerable, and whatever is evil in there just kind of got him.
Yeah, because I think it's kind of weird. Yeah. He was really scared and didn't want to be anywhere by himself, and then all of a sudden now
he wanted to go in the boiler.
Now he wants to sit in there by himself. I'm like, David, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
So I took him outside a couple times to get out of the scenario, but it was weird for a while.
Yeah, he was very strange because then we were wandering in the darkness downstairs and he picked up a random pill bottle and he's like, this shouldn't be here. And we walked into the like kitchen area again and he freaking heard noises or people talking that we didn't hear. And then when we re-watched it back, there were voices that were coming from the kitchen that he heard with his own ears.
Shit.
So he was really in tune with whatever and his fear factor was gone. And for David to lose that fear factor is like, that doesn't happen ever.
So is it like a possession maybe?
I honestly feel like it could have been, or something that like coaxed him into wanting to get him to go somewhere. Because he was all about being down in that basement.
And by
creepy.
On his own.
See guys, this is going to lead to my next question, but what y'all just talked about is why I don't do the shit that y'all do. I've always been interested, and I've said this every time we've had a paranormal investigation team or investigator on here. I've asked this question, and I have made this comment every time. The only reason I don't do what you guys do is I'm absolutely terrified that something is going to latch onto me and I'm going to bring it home and either keep it for myself or give it to my children, give it to my family. It terrifies me, and it has kept me from doing what y'all do. And that being said, I want to bring up tonight's poll question. Tonight's poll question was, is one type person more susceptible than another to experience paranormal activity or to become possessed? And overwhelmingly, 85% of tonight's viewers say yes. But I want to ask you guys' opinion, or not your opinion. I want to ask if y'all have any experience with things latching on to you or feeling like things latched on to you or someone that you know and you brought it home with you.
The laugh is not giving us very much confidence.
Yeah, well, I'm usually the one that will instigate a lot of stuff at these places. Like I challenge or question them, and these things or yes, if you allow it to, they can attach to you and follow you. I've had experiences where I would come to I lived at a previous place and I would hear something telling me like calling out Randy's name, and I would call him immediately to see what was going on. I've had experiences where all my fire detectors were sounding off, like as if the battery was going dead in all of them. And I called Chip as it was happening, just so that way I had some validation to what the hell was happening. But now I'm a little bit more cautious. I actually, so this is gonna sound kind of strange, but I have a pastor that I go and see after our investigations to kind of like cleanse me, just because I know that I usually will be the one that gets the attachment if if anyone in our group does. Like if you watch any of the videos, and Randy will not say like Satan or demon or anything. Like he doesn't want to say it because he thinks that like that feeds into it, and usually I'll acknowledge that.
Is there a demon here? First thing every time, almost.
I know.
No, I'll tell a little story about a little attachment, right? So this was years ago, before fishing videos, probably like 5-6 years ago now. Nick lived in a different like house, and I was driving home. I just graduated school, so I would spend every weekend down at Nick's house when I could. We'd game, right? So I was driving home one day, and I had my windows down. It was summer, and all of a sudden this wasp flew in my car and hit me right in the face, right, and dropped in my lap. And I freaked out, got out, brushed it off, whatever, right? And I was like getting back in my car, and I looked to my left. There was a cemetery right here. I told Nick immediately. I was like, dude, there's a cemetery like a mile away from where you live. We should probably sneak in, right? Not a good idea. Don't recommend. Don't do it. We got But anyways, so after we told him that, we're like, oh, we're going. So one night, me and Nick went to the cemetery, and definitely nothing scary happened at first. We were there for like 3 hours. We actually got pulled over, and luckily we were where Nick kind of works, and they were like, whatever, bro, like get in and get out, right? So we were allowed to go in there for a little bit. So we were in there stomping around, and there was like these old graves in the woods that we didn't even know were there. But we were kind of like creeping around them, and all of a sudden, like I hear like this hiss happen, like this, like in between me and Nick. And no, Nick went first. He heard the hiss, and he freaked out and came back. And he's like, "You go down there. You go down there." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll go check it out." So I'm like walking down there. He's staying behind me, and I get like 10 feet away, and it sounds like right behind me. We both heard like this heavy breathing, like right behind me. And I look back. Nick's taking off. He's already running. So I go taking off, running, get in my car, and we pull out. Right. Whatever. We come back like a month later with him and David. Actually, we go there. Nothing really too weird happened other than David like got this really bad pain on his like back here, and we get in the car and look, and he had like this ginormous like a cyst or what was it?
I don't know. It was just a big old
weird bump that came out of nowhere. After we visited, he's like, like something hurts. We get in the car and look, big bump. He had to go get it like surgically popped, whatever. Ever since that happened, that's when like his alarm clock, or not his alarm clock, his smoke detector thing started going off. And he has a little story. Something weird happened upstairs when he got to the final one. But as that was happening that same week, these two both had their same car issue happen. They're both what happened? A water pump went out.
Just car broke down.
They had the same car issue happen in the same week.
So whatever that was, it can attach to you, and it does. I think it does cause problems here and there. But then what's that other thing that we've been saying? You know, you get there, you leave, nothing's allowed to follow you, and
we try to remember to say that. I mean,
we try to remember to say some stuff now.
We don't say that. I usually say that
we don't usually film that though.
Oh. Yeah. So you
just got to be careful. I mean,
be careful.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a huge concern of mine. Like I said, it's what keeps me from doing what you guys do, because I think it would be fun as hell. And
so,
I mean,
sorry,
go ahead. Go ahead.
But have you had any kind of nothing growing up as far as seeing nothing weird?
No, not really. I mean, I've had a couple of things that happened to me as a child. One thing that I talk about on this show is, because we've had several like psychic mediums on, and one thing creepy that has happened in this house is I have a daughter. She will be 3 in a couple of weeks. And it hasn't happened in a while. So it was like when she was around 2. Where I live, down at the end of the hall where I'm sitting at right now, is my studio. Past this room is my garage. And sometimes my daughter will run to the end of the hall, which is right here where I'm at right now. And when she was smaller, she would run down there and point up and talk to something. and say something, and she would scream and then run back to me. And I never really understood what was going on there. I mean, I've never seen anything. I don't know if she's seen anything. That's something that I've experienced recently.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and kids are very susceptible to stuff like that.
Exactly.
That's why we don't bring I don't have kids, so don't need to worry about that.
Right. But man, it scares the hell out of me because I mean, she's not my only child. You know, I have other kids. I mean, I have other family members, and I just couldn't forgive myself if I went out and did, you know, something like you guys do for fun and enjoyment, and something latches on to me and I bring it home to them because I've seen the possession movies, the exorcism movies and shit. That scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to get into that deep of or that. Yeah, wouldn't want to be a part of that stuff. But if it's out there,
yeah, the movies definitely paint a bad picture. I feel like because you go and expect to see like these weird like demons and ghosts and stuff, but I'll tell you right now, we go to these places and we don't usually see anything at all. It's all just kind of like weird, unexplained noises and equipment, right? And so that's like the biggest fear, right? So when you're walking around in the dark in the basement and stuff, the whole thing going through your head is like the Exorcist face, conjuring demons, stuff like that. And you're like, you got to get rid of that and then really try to focus in. And I think that's why it's such like a, I don't know, scary thing to overcome. So it makes sense 100% because I told people in the last video that I have to go and stay in the Edinburgh basement by myself next time we go, which I have to do for an hour. Should have done that. I didn't really think I'd get that many people to like it. But that whole time I'm going to be down there, man, I'm going to be freaking out, thinking about demons, not really excited.
Yeah.
Not a good thing. But you mentioned just a second ago, the Conjuring House. Y'all could always travel and check out the Conjuring House. That would be, I mean, I'm telling you, that would be a good one. Of course, I'm not the one doing it, so I can say that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, you never run out of haunted locations. Like, there's so many to go and explore that it's ridiculous.
Well, and even the ones, I mean, you don't even have to pay money. You know, I mean, you have the expensive ones that you have to pay money to go into. Go into the freaking woods, bro.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Graveyards,
I mean,
cemeteries.
it's free.
Right.
Yep.
Nick is a good wood story, but I don't think it's we want to go to cemeteries, but I don't see anybody posting videos like that. I don't know if we'd get in trouble or looked down upon, for that.
Yeah. I think a lot of them are posted, but I mean, what is that?
I'm sorry. I thought I had my mic muted. That was a car going up my road.
Yeah, I think a lot of the cemeteries are posted, but I don't know how much they're enforced. I mean, I would go to, I mean, I used to go to hang out in cemeteries as a kid. I was a weird ass kid. You know, I know I like the weird stuff. So, I mean, yeah. So, I mean, it wouldn't really stop me. There actually are a couple of old cemeteries in my town that I want to check out, but I don't want anything coming home.
Make sure there's no old graves because we are probably not going to go back to St. Patrick's ever after having that stuff happen for the week and David having that weird thing on him. But yeah, we're just cautious. We don't want to go anywhere that we're not going to get like in trouble for. Like we did sneak into a place like an old hospital up in Pine City, Minnesota. It's called Pokegama Sanatorium, which is actually for sale. And he wants to buy it and open it up for like a ghost hunt place. But anyway, yeah, me and Nick went up there in the summer and snuck in there. And we were trying to do some ghost stuff, but we didn't want to have flashlights on because it's like a neighborhood right there. But yeah, we just want to be safe. That's like not get in trouble. But
absolutely.
Well, there's one part. I know you don't see much moving. Once in a while, it depends on where you're at. You catch stuff moving. I've been able to catch a lot of stuff over my lifetime, not on camera till now. But if you look at me in Estes mode when I'm in the Boyd house, and I'm not very good at that Estes mode because my hearing ain't as good as these guys. But you look at a little dog down by my feet, it's got a spring tail. You'll see that spring tail because I watched that video. I'm like, holy cow, look at that dog's tail flipping. and I ain't moving, and it's a couple inches away from my feet, and you can see that tail flicking back and forth. That part was pretty neat.
I wasn't able to point it out because I didn't really notice it while going through like all the editing. I was more focused in like the responses coming back, but it wasn't until viewers seeing it and they're like, "Holy smokes, that dog's tail is going crazy down there." So,
and of course, I didn't see it at the times I got the blinders on, but I seen it when we watched it.
That's wild. I missed that. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that.
Yeah, it's
okay. All right, guys, we got a few questions from the audience that we will get through real quick, if y'all don't mind.
Yeah.
First off, it's not a question. I just want to say thank you to Ristel for the $3 super sticker. Thank you, buddy, so very much. First question comes from Troy. Have you ever had physical contact with something unseen?
Yep. I got scratched at the. I got scratched at our most recent one at the Farah schools, and I felt like burning sensation on my leg and on my stomach or abdomen area. So, yeah.
Was it one scratch or?
Yeah, it was like it was just a very, and it was right next to my cross too. So I have a big cross on my rib cage, and it was like right next to that, almost kind of like giving me a sign that it wasn't afraid of that.
Okay. That's interesting that it was right next to the cross.
Yeah.
Big 50.
Yeah. I was
big
going to hold off, but
we're usually pretty speechless when that happens. So
shut
up. Scott,
he has a good
unseen scratch on the back of my neck.
He has a good unseen story from a long time ago.
Yeah, let's hear that.
Oh, that was just, I don't know what it was, but something would just jump on me when I was laying in bed. I'd be like laying there, and next thing you know, if you feel like your cover's pinning down your arms, like something's kneeling on your chest. It happened 2 or 3 times, and it was just. I can't explain it.
I was probably just a baby. My mom was in the shower. I remember this story pretty dang good because it one freaks me out. I was probably a baby. I don't remember. My mom was in the shower, probably getting ready for work. You were just in bed, and you just felt something like jump, boom on him.
Just felt the pressure,
pinned him down,
pin you down in bed.
Oh my god!
It was.
But it didn't see anything or anything.
You struggle bust to get up, you're freaking out, and then all of a sudden the pressure's gone, and then, you can't see anything. What the hell was that?
See, that's the thing. Like, something will happen and be like, I don't know. Something just jumped on me. It's like, what do you mean, dude?
Like 3 times.
How are you so mellow? I'll be like, bye, Felicia. Peace out.
But I've had glasses fly. Like, I've seen glasses fly right off my dresser and just slam on the ground. And
Chip, come on, dude. This is big stuff. You act like it's nothing. We're at the end of the episode. You're talking about shit flying off.
Another episode.
That's right. We can have another episode. I'm down. And I'm going to tell you what, and then I'll shut up. I love them because I finally found somebody who says bro just as much as I do.
Bro.
And I think it's at the Boyd house, and they're like, Rainey said bro, and then he said bro, and then they kept going, and I'm like, bro.
It's where it's a flaw. Okay? We had every comments like, you guys way too much. All right, I had to shout it out too much. I'll write people, my friends go, you gotta stop saying, have like a bro counter. My mom says, have a bro counter up for how many times you say bro.
I think it's my favorite part. I love it.
Yeah. What to say when you hear something, it's like, what else do you say? Like, bro, did you hear that? Like, we're trying to like confirm like they heard that.
Don't get rid of the bro talk.
Don't get rid of the bro.
It's not going anywhere now.
Yeah. All right, next question from Troy, my good buddy Troy. Did the talking stuffed animal just happen to be at these sites, or did y'all take them there?
Well, they were there.
Yeah, we don't bring any stuffed animals. We have no stuffed animals. We have no freaking dolls. I don't want to take anything away from those places ever. So yeah, all these places just happen to have that dumbass dog.
It was just Edinburgh and it was just Boyd. I don't think Villisca had one.
Oh, that's true. Yep, it didn't.
Where else did we go? Farrar. Yeah, they don't have one that we found. It was just those two coincidence. It's just yeah.
Okay. All right, we got a question from Bristol. Good buddy, Bristol. If you do the Conjuring House, you need to do the Bridgewater Triangle. That's more of a comment than a question.
What the heck is that?
Yeah, what's
You know what
Bridgewater
the Bridgewater
Triangle?
Triangle is?
No,
I have no idea.
Look it up, guys. That's some creepy ass shit
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I
that
bet.
goes on in there. I mean, there's like cryptids, there's spooky stuff, ghosts, it's all kinds of weird stuff. Y'all look it up. The Bridgewater Triangle.
We'll put Chip there as a solo.
Well, you know, I'll start getting into the cryptid stuff.
we have.
I ain't a big fan of that. I mean,
he's got a
ghosts are
cryptid.
all right because
We got some Bigfoot stuff.
usually they're just shadows, and
Did you say y'all had Bigfoot stuff?
I like the Bigfoot stuff.
He's got. We have some stuff.
We gotta have y'all back, man. I had no idea y'all had Bigfoot stuff. I'm a Bigfoot guy.
I know you are. I saw that up on your underneath your name there.
Yeah, hunt on the. You spent enough time out in the woods, man. You know.
I've never seen a big. I mean, I haven't never seen one, but I've heard noises that are like, what
the
that?
piss? Yeah.
That can't be an ant. Or
Yeah, I'm the founder of a small Sasquatch research organization here. I live in Tennessee. So Southeast Tennessee is where I do my stuff. We do a camp out every year, and I just launched the information for the camp out that's going to be happening this year. It's our 4th annual, and it's going to be held in September, and over half of the spots have already been filled. We take our Bigfoot shit serious down here. So I love talking Bigfoot.
Hell yeah.
Minnesota has one, 100%. Definitely.
so, what do you guys do? Camp out, and how many go?
Do what?
How many people go? You just invite, and whoever shows up, or
Yeah, well, we're limited to a certain number of tents this year, and over half of those tents have already been reserved and paid for. So I'm thinking about reaching out to the venue to see if I can get some more. So yeah, I mean, we do very, very well. I think the last one we did, we had 42 people show up from 12 different states.
that's
And they camped for 3 nights. That's not 42 people showing up for a couple hours. That's 42 people that showed up and camped for 3 nights.
That's awesome.
From 12 different states.
that'd be a pretty sweet hunt right there.
Yeah. I mean, you guys want to come? We'd love to have you.
Yeah, I think I've not ever been, but I think y'all would enjoy that. That would be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But you got to tell Nick not to use y'all as bait. I keep hearing the same theme of Nick using you guys as bait.
Done doing that, man.
Oh yeah, toss them in.
We got one more question from Troy. What do you believe the ghosts you're hearing are? The disembodied spirits of people that used to be alive, or something more sinister, such as demons?
Ooh, your favorite word.
Both.
Yes,
Both.
100%. I think that the disembodied voices that you hear, sometimes we'll hear like at our most recent one, we heard like a humming, but it almost sounded like a almost like a children's tune, I guess. And you can kind of tell the difference between the energies too. So like you can kind of feel the positive energy around you. And then you definitely can feel the negative ones. And then they start saying stuff that's not so friendly. Like they threaten me a lot.
Yeah. So I was going to say, like the Boyd house, right? Great example. So down in the basement, we're just down there playing cards with Fred. And Fred is an entity, he kind of passed away in his home. So did his wife. And we heard his name come through EVP, right? And then, we're on the main floor, and Nick's in Estes, and all of a sudden, like demons coming through and like come under the attic and like stay out of here and like get out, and it's like it's like a 180. And then, when we were out there too, we smelled like a rotten egg smell, like a sulfur smell. That's also not a good sign either. So, we don't know if whatever is there obviously probably wasn't there originally. It's probably from like people going in and probably bringing stuff or doing weird things and stuff, with the dark. Who knows? I don't know, but definitely both, I would say, for sure.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question real quick. Did you ever get in trouble by Fred for stepping in his garden?
I don't think so. I don't feel like I even got my apology across. I mean, I tried every time I was there. I'm like, hey, Fred, man, I know I did it. I stepped in there. But I don't think, I didn't have anything happen to me, so I think he accepted it.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. And lastly, I know we already did a little bit, but Scott Trent, thank you so very much, buddy. He said, hey, everyone, let's put them over the top for this month. And you did that by yourself, buddy.
Thank you very much.
So
Let's go, Scott.
Thank you. We will be getting, Tiffany and I will be getting a check for the 4th straight month from YouTube.
I'm telling you, I did.
Nice.
Good job, guys.
Good job.
See the great guests that we can have on. I'm just saying.
All right, guys. Whoever wants to take a second or a couple minutes, however long you want to take, tell everybody where they can find you. Plug anything that you would like.
All right, yeah. So definitely the number one spot is definitely going to be YouTube. That's where everything is getting posted for the most part, and it's at the Paranormal Pursuit. There's another Paranormal Pursuit channel on YouTube, so I put like the in front of it to hopefully stay out of trouble. But yeah, so if you find the Paranormal Pursuit, that's where we are on YouTube. I just launched a Facebook page like last week. Same with an Instagram to hopefully try to get some more people to see, and TikTok as well. TikTok is definitely the one that blew up the most because of his reaction on there. So all platforms at the Paranormal Pursuit. Best way to find us there.
Okay. Very, very cool. Again, guys, this was awesome. You are welcome back anytime that you want to come. We would love to talk cryptid. Especially would love to talk some cryptid with you guys. But yeah, thank you so very much for taking the time to hang out with us, and I hope that you will enjoy the rest of your evening.
And now that you're one podcast down, they become addictive.
Yeah.
Sick. Yeah, thank you guys again for reaching out, and I'm really glad you guys invited us on. Like nobody's ever invited us, so I'm glad to be like this, like the first place we were. I hope we do come back because we have tons of ghost stories. We'd love to tell you guys, share that. Yeah, it's definitely some cryptid stuff as well. If we do come back, we would be. What if we did like at a location like for like an hour? If we were like at Edinburgh,
that would be awesome.
That'd be kind of cool,
bro. That would be love.
Yep. That sounds awesome.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Maybe we do like a live Estes or something. I don't know. Just spitballing. But yeah, definitely want to come back for you guys. That'd be so fun. This was awesome.
Well,
that would be so
we're gonna
cool.
do it. We'll announce it right now. We're gonna have you guys back for a part 2.
Yes.
Hell yeah, brother.
Set that up with you guys. Yeah, a live would be great. That would be really cool.
Yeah, sounds really fun. I went live on TikTok on our last one, and that did good. So it'd be cool to have like even you guys to like share, and for you guys' people to watch too. I'm sure they would like that.
Oh yeah. For sure, 100%.
That would be great, guys. Again, you guys enjoy the rest of your evening, and we will be in touch to set up round 2.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Have a good night.
You too.
You too.
Wow.
How sick was that? That was so cool.
You've been talking this up for a long time, and that it lived up to it.
Yep.
Very, very cool. I was disappointed when they had to reschedule, but I was really glad when you were able to do it so close.
Yes.
Because they were supposed to come on tomorrow night.
Yeah.
So actually, we got them a day earlier.
Yeah, we did.
So what we did was we took the episode that's supposed to be tomorrow night and we turned that into a members only. So
yeah, we did.
Well, what time is it? 9:14. Yeah, a little over 24 hours from right now, we will be back right here for just the members. If you are watching tonight and you are not a member and you want to catch that show, click that join button. It's $1.99. That's all you got to do. And we will be here in 24 hours.
Better get in where you fit in.
That's right. Again, Scott, coming through for us, buddy. Thank you so much. I think that's like the third time Scott's done a $50 super sticker. You are the man, buddy. Thank you so very much. You put us over the top. We will be receiving a check for next month, but there's still time to add to that. We've never hit $200 for a month, so if you guys want to help us out to get there, we would love that.
Yes.
But yeah,
And
you got anything else, man?
Nope. Thank you, Ristel, for your $3 super sticker, and Scott for his $50 super sticker. See, 5 and 3 there. Yep, they're 2 of the 3 of my favorite numbers. So I mean, I ain't saying. But no, I had a really good time. I knew that they would be just ecstatic because I'd been talking to them back and forth through email. And this was their very first podcast that they had ever done. And I think they had a good time. So I just think it was a real pleasure having them on.
It really was. We busted their podcast cherry.
We sure did. Look at us doing big grown-up things like that. That is
all right, guys. Those of you that are lit up in green, you will see us tomorrow night, about 24 hours from now, as we said. If you are not lit up in green, you still have plenty of time to do so, to be able to tune in. If not, we will see you Tuesday. Y'all take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Bye.
Bye.